Welcome to another exciting episode of Drizzly's Low-Key Valheim. Today we're running very difficult combat and much more frequent raids, and the big kicker is no map. Now, I've started several of these and found that sometimes I forgot the voice recording, sometimes I forgot the video recording, and sometimes I just went for some days between them. And the one thing that I have found out is that this really takes a lot of focus so that you can remember the terrain and where things are. So probably not a good idea to put a lot of time between the game and the recording, and probably not so good to put a lot of time between multiple worlds. So once again, starting over, this is probably the third time, and I've learned some things that are going to be problems that I anticipated it'd be tough to not find your way around, but I didn't anticipate some of the other complications, which I guess if I had used any imagination at all, it would not have been so difficult to anticipate. So let's, without further ado, let's get started. And this is the first problem I should have anticipated, and I did kind of anticipate it, but look, map location already added, clicked on it twice. You don't see a mini map up there to see it. Hit M, there's nothing there to see it. We're going to have to be looking all over for the bosses, literally covering every inch of forest. So this is a very slow game. The merchant, I imagine that's going to be really hard too. I will probably speed this up at some point because it's very methodical. I've wound up in the couple trials beforehand needing to build roads. If I wasn't near water, sometimes it took a long time to find water because you don't want to lose the stones, right? You need to get back there. And over there is a A-frame that might have a mysterious accident. It looks like more holes in the roof than I remember, but yeah, there's no door and no box, so no mysterious axe. But this is a slow go. It's a slow burn game, and we have a lot of boring things that you're not going to watch, and there have been a lot of times when I really had nothing to say. So we're going to speed things up periodically to not bog you down in the process so much as to just cover my learning experiences without a map and keep it going at a pace that'll be interesting for everybody. There's already a black forest over there down between those trees to my left. This is not a big ocean, but more of a little lake, so it's not going to provide all the transportation that we want, but it will provide the flint we need. And so I think this is a good place to start. I mean, there are other places that we saw another batch of water coming in that might be better place. But one of the other things I learned is you have to make a lot of little houses because you may not find your way home. So we'll build another house over by the other piece of water eventually. But for right now, this looks like a solid place. We've got a black forest nearby. We've got a nice little isolated water. We've got boars. We've got deer. We don't have as many tiny beach saplings as I like, because more economic way to get wood. And by economic, I mean that we get more pieces of wood per whack of the axe. You'll notice the building was hovering here, right? I've got it off the ground on the far edge. I built on the top of a local mound to keep the flooring from being covered in grass because I don't have a hoe yet. So building it so it's kind of floating lets me cover the workbench so we can build a hoe, and then fill in later. I'll get rid of this guy with your fists of fury. And make a hoe. I always put them in number 6 because I automatically hit 6 for hoe now after all this time. So this will let us fill in the floor. We have the hoe. So that, I don't mean fill in the floor, fill in around the floor. So that it's not floating on this outer edge, right? This offers a couple things. First of all, aesthetics, looks like a little house. Second, if we start building upward for some reason, we avoid any surprises in technical malfunctions by having it actually built on the floor. And I hate, I kind of hate jumping into my house. I don't know, maybe it's because if I'm running in and low on stamina. So we added an extra row of floor there, because if you have an odd number of floor squares or wall squares, you're able to have the door in the middle of the wall. If you have an even number, it has to be either slightly right or slightly left, or very right or very left. This lets us put the door in the middle of the wall, which I don't know, I kind of like. Also, it lets you have a nice angled window above the door, which I think is kind of aesthetic, and the cross pieces work. I like to have the fireplace right next to the bed, right? So we might need 2 fireplaces by the time this house gets a certain size. Right now, 1, and I think with 5 squares, the heat resting bonus doesn't really reach all the way over to the workbench, or at least the wall where the workbench is. And so we're getting really close to being secure for the night, because we have a bed, but we have a fire, we have a bench, we're going to have a bed, and we'll have a roof over our head. And this house is much larger than my typical day 1 house. I'm usually moving around far to try to find beehives and starred boars to domesticate, and honey, starred boars, and hopefully the mysterious and curious axe heads, so that we can have some certain advantages to survival, right, by chopping our wood and our fine wood. So you see the sun's going down on our happy little camp. Our house is almost done. And as we find ourselves approaching the end of day 1, we have a pretty good sized little house. We've stockpiled a lot of little riches. We haven't had any problems, and we're ready to begin day 2. So ends the night, and welcome to day 2. Today we want to get some boar hide to make a bow so we can get some clothes. We'd rather have something other than our tidy brownies and our little nightgown shirt as we roam around, especially with this combat level. As you've seen, we can take a lot of damage pretty easily at this level of combat. Beautiful morning. A compass. I'm pointing this wood into the rising sun, reflecting in the water, and so that would be east, right? this piece, and that will be west. And then a long one for north, and then a short one for south. And then we have to get rid of a little annoyance, right? So, and then another short one for south. And I'll be putting these things around as navigation aids. They're just little compasses. I know they have a resemblance to some kind of religious iconography, but I am personally unburdened by religion. And sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. Sometimes a compass is just a compass. So I'll run around here and look for some boars that we can kill. There's one. And we can get some leather and get a bow. I mean, we have a shield that helps us with some survival, but we really do want to get some armor. Right now we just have one with this little rag shirt we're wearing, which just isn't efficient. I shouldn't say efficient. It's certainly efficient to run around me. It certainly isn't very, very safe. Yeah, so there we go. We have a level 2 workbench now, which will allow us to... Oh, wait a sec. We're being raided. Red alert. And we took some pretty steady hits right there, and oh my god, look, we could die. We're like down to 8 health now. Fortunately, we had some boar meat cooked so that we're healing relatively fast. I was hovering next to the fire there because that kind of keeps them away. Now that I'm not as afraid, I'm moving out to get them because, as I said, we really do want their leather and make a bow. So this is like a gift. This raid is like a gift. Another one swimming at me from behind. There he is. Chase after him because I don't want him to get away. So now we survived our first raid in the morning of day 2, by the way, which is pretty early in the game of morning of day 2 for our first raid. But that's the result of very frequent, much more frequent raid frequency than normal, and is probably a vision of things to come in our future. Lots of raids. And with them being this hard, like right now, if we killed Ichthyr today and we started being raided frequently by Grey Dwarves, I think we'd have to rage quit. I'm not sure. Look at that. We got ourselves a crude bow already on day 2 in the morning, right? I think we're going to also make a spear. Because I kind of like them. They're kind of a fast weapon. If you run out of arrows, they still allow you to get deer. I make a footlocker for my extra gear, so we'll put that old stone axe in there. And then we're going to spend much of the day hunting deer. And, of course, cooking some more food, of course. Built some boxes next to the fire so that I can start storing food there. So, as we wrap up the second day, let's look ahead to day 3, which I think I'm going to make as a different video. We're going to close out the day here with a full set of leather armor, and we're going to start on day 3 with a acquisition of core wood, and I'll show you how to do it. And then I think day 4 we encounter the bear, and I think that's an extended one. So we're going to end today with this and resume day 3 next time on Drizzly's Low-Key Valheim. Surveyor mode, naked alone, and mapless. And please feel free to give us a like so that I know if anyone is ever seeing this. Really appreciate it, and thanks for watching. Until next time.